with the bad day?
Yeah, how do you deal with a bad day? And I talked also about if you broke what? Like if you broke something, if you hurt something, yeah, your hand, you know. So that was a metaphor for things happen. My office, what I deal with in my office, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a therapist by trade. So, and I am the assistant director of the Office of Violence Prevention. I work with youth, family, and community. So, youth, you guys, family, with your family, and community as a whole. So what I do, I work with a lot of people who have lost loved ones to gun violence or to violence. So, and then, so when we talk to people, we talk about how, you know, trauma impacts you mentally, how it impacts you physically, and how it impacts you spiritually. So when I talk to a youth group, a lot of times you all haven't faced a lot of trauma, hopefully, but some have. Sometimes we're just born into trauma. But what I want you all to understand is that, like if you hurt yourself, if you don't get it fixed, it'll leave a scar. So like I said, if I cut my hand and I don't get it fixed, and I just say, okay, I'm just gonna let it heal on its own. Sometimes things don't heal on its own. Sometimes things could be too deep. So sometimes things that people do to you is too deep, it don't heal. It may start to heal after a while, but then it leaves a scar. Sometimes that scar you may not be able to see. That scar could be deep. And then you going around in life, and then one day something happens, and that pain starts to hurt. And you don't know why it's hurting, but you know, bless you, but you know it's hurting. So, but you can't see that scar no more because it done healed over. But what's underneath that pain comes out. And sometimes it comes out in your actions, what you do. So you start getting upset. You start doing bad at school. You start going back and forth with your parents. There's a lot of things because you got something that hurt you that you hadn't been able to talk about. Now, we talked about journaling, like writing stuff down. Sometimes just the act of writing stuff down kind of gets it on paper. So it's not, because sometimes when things happen to you, it can make you feel like you're going crazy. Because I know I'm feeling these things, but people are telling me, it's okay, you okay. You know, it's okay, that scar is healed over. But you don't know what took that scar to form hasn't healed in my mind. I'm still hurting. So I just want you all to know that you are beautiful young ladies, but life happens. But I want you all to know that you should talk about what happens when it happens, and if it's going to impact you. If it impacts you mentally or physically, if it impacts how you think about something, how you feel about something, how you react about something, that's when you need to get help. So when you think about something, how you feel about something, and how you react. So can anybody just tell me what I just said, the three things? Huh? Okay, thank you. You said react? Okay. And what's the next one? How you think? Yes. It's no wrong answers. So you just understand that if something happens to you, because see, like I said, we work with people. I have to go in the room and talk to somebody who just lost their child or their brother or their sister. You know, that's heavy, and it leaves a scar, right? It takes time for that to heal. Did you get to talk about it? And do you want to talk about it? So, but sometimes it's hard to talk about it, right? Sometimes you just wish I had a magic eraser and that thing just went away. Or I wish I had a rewind on my tape and rewind and then it went away. It happens that way sometimes because we don't want to think about it. But sometimes if you don't talk about it, when you want to, you don't have to talk about it now, when you want to, when you feel safe to say, hey, this bothered me and I just want to talk about how I feel about what happened. That's a good way to get that off you and you won't carry it, okay? Because you don't want to carry that stuff through your life. Because believe me, standing here, I carried a lot of stuff from when I was a little girl into my adulthood. It wasn't mine to carry. It was my family's stuff to carry. But being a child, we're in our parents' life, right? So when stuff happens, it happens to us too. But they'll tell us, oh, you're a kid, you'll be over it. But that's not always true. You carry that into your adult life. So I just want you to know that if you have anything that makes you feel a certain way, think a certain way, or react a certain way, always find somebody that you can talk to about it, okay? And I thank you all for your time. What I'm going to talk about, let me give you a little bit. I know I told you, my name is Nanette. I am the Assistant Director of the Office of Violence Prevention. So I work with youth, family, and community. And what we do, we work with people who have dealt with trauma. So I have to go talk to mama, I have to talk to brothers and sisters or fathers who have lost their loved ones to violence or have been impacted by violence. And that's a lot. To somebody knock on your door and say, hey, somebody's not here no more. Or somebody, I had to go talk to a community of folks because somebody got killed outside a bus stop. So talking about being there and seeing somebody when you're getting ready to get on a bus to go to school, that's a lot of trauma. And it's not directed at you, but you saw that. And how do you think those kids are feeling when they're getting on that bus? They're scared. Because that was the second shooting. You had one shooting, nobody got hurt, but then you had a second shooting, somebody got killed. So those kids were scared to even go on the bus stop. Because they're thinking, this little boy, 5 years old, said, are they going to get me, Granny? Because you'll start thinking that, right? If you're getting a shooting at your bus stop every day, would you be scared to go to that bus stop? Yeah. And then where will you feel it? When you start walking up to the bus stop, because you have to go to school, your heart's gonna start racing. You're gonna get a little clammy. You're gonna get scared. You know how your body gets when it gets scared? What do you first feel when you get scared? Where do you feel it at first? Yeah. Who feels it in their stomach? Like get queasiness? Yeah. So you're gonna get that a lot. So a lot of times when we're dealing with stuff, like I talked about, if you have a cut, I may get a cut, that cut may heal. And you can look at my hand, you may not see no cut, but up under there, it's still scar tissue. A lot of times what we do when we say, okay, I have to live through things because you ain't got no choice, right? Something happened, you just have to keep on living. You got to move through it, right? But it doesn't mean that it doesn't leave scar tissue. And that scar tissue can get tough. And that scar tissue that one day your hand becomes rigid. And you be angry and you mad at everything, but you don't know why you're angry and mad. Has anything ever happened to you that you wasn't able to talk about it, but it made you feel differently? So if something it changes how you think, how you feel, and how you react, then you need to come and talk to somebody about that. Because that can hurt you. It can build up as scar tissue over and over again. So I know this is not an easy subject to talk about. I know that people don't like to talk about certain things because has anybody in here lost a loved one to any kind of gun violence or anything like that? So it's hard, right? Because you understand that you may lose people. When you have grandmamas and granddaddies and great-grandmamas and great-daddies, they're older, you don't want to lose them, but that's a life that lived out their life, right? But if somebody comes and takes your person away from you, that's hard. So you need to talk about that. We have some kids that lost friend after friend after friend after friend. And that's hard. So did you raise your hand, baby? Okay, so I just want you all to know that this is heavy stuff, but in this world we live in now, it's heavy. There's a lot of that goes on. Were any of you all that raised your hands, were you able to talk to somebody how you felt about losing your loved one?
Yes.
You got to talk to somebody? Your school counselor, was it easy?
It was kind of hard at first, but then I got it.
Okay, so it made you feel better? Okay, and I'm not saying it's not hard, because if I'm saying that I got a cut that healed over and you can't see that scar no more, but I know I can feel that scar tissue up under here, I know that I'm still not good, that my hand is not good anymore. It's hard to sit there and say, well, like he did, I'm going to go in there and they're going to cut it open. Because they have to get that infection out, so I can heal right. So that's hard to say, okay, I feel this way, I lived through this, but now you want me to talk about it? It's hard to talk about it. You're going to be resistant to talk about it. I feel comfortable just shutting it in and holding this scar to me because I know this scar, I know this pain, because this pain has become me. But it doesn't mean that the pain is not stifling your growth. It doesn't mean that pain is not keeping you stuck. So I know that it's hard. So what did I say? Anybody could tell me if the 3 things I said, can you tell me? Huh? Yeah, okay, mental? Physical? Huh? Traumatized, yes. So who knows what traumatized means?
Oh, it's like something, see something so scary, you can't get it off.
Okay. Anybody else? That's good.
Something happened in the past and then it will happen, so you like the bad memories.
Okay. Yes.
Kind of like what you said. There's something happens to you that's completely to
So little T trauma could be, you know, you getting a little fender bender. That's traumatizing because you're like, oh, what just happened? You know, you get out, your car got a little dent in it, it's okay. But if you go every day, boom, 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 and they hit your car, that's going to leave an impact on you. Because then you're going to get scared to drive that car, right? You're going to get scared to go down that street where you keep getting hit, right? So those are the things we're talking about. That, you know, we can have little things that can happen to us, but if it happens over and over and over and over again, that can be very traumatizing. So I want to thank you all for giving me your time and listen to the people around you, because you have people here that want the best for you. And I know it's hard to hear me talk about trauma and stuff, but life happens. So if anything happens, I want you to remember this. What impacts you mentally can impact you physically, and it starts to impact you spiritually. That means that you just get hard to it, numb to it, and that's not a good thing, okay? So always be willing to talk to someone. It doesn't make you weak because you talk to someone. Like he said, it made him feel better. So unpack them suitcases, gentlemen, when you have a lot of things on your, okay? So thank you all. You know, working with kids, you know, everybody knows, their mind is on soccer. They're ready to get on that field, but they were really great kids. They were able to listen, to explain to me how trauma impacts you, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So it was a win-win. You know, I try to talk to them in groups, a big old group, but when we broke it down, I learned a lot about these kids. They're holding some things in. Some of them have talked about, you know, experiencing trauma and how they dealt with it and how they were able to, a young man had talked about, I went to therapy. It was scary, but it made me feel better. So understanding that things are going to happen, but how we react to them matters a lot. How we intervene matters a lot, because it won't, you know, like I said, the metaphor of having a scar. Your scar may heal, but that scar tissue up under that scar is what hurts. So thank you all again for always allowing me to come out here and be able to provide some wisdom and some, you know, about mental health and how to deal with things that help hurt you, you know, because you need to unpack that suitcase.
This is the soccer camp, the African and American soccer camp. The goal in this program is for them to give them the opportunity to have a camp where they can belong every summer. Many of these kids, I invite college coach, club coaches. Most of these kids, they play for club teams, not because they got there, because also a lot of people have been asking, whenever they go somewhere, they actually coaches call me like, hey, I got this kid, his name is this, have he been in your camp? Like, yeah, you know, so that gives them a credit a little bit to boost them to play in that, which gives them a scholarship, you know, because club is not free to play there. So it costs money. That will give them the freedom for them to go and get a scholarship to play for the club team. and then many of them play for. They get ready for their high school, so they come over here to get fit, to touch the ball a little bit here and there, and also get their fitness level on a high level. So whenever they go to their tryout in high school, they are ready to go. They're not really, starting from the bottom. We have the girls side, and then we have the boys side. We got at least 50 of the girls there, and then we got also about 150 of boys in here. Let me just say the camp is free, and usually we try to take care of things in our way, but if anybody wants to support us, which we always need support, you want to come volunteer, you want to come bring some snacks, you want to bring water to us, anything that you can do to support, feel free, because the camp is free. We're doing our best for them to also enjoy. We're also doing our best for them to enjoy. So you can go visit our website, theafricaninamerica.com, and there is a donation link there, then you can donate there as well. What I want to say to the parents that are not here, but there are a lot of parents that their kids are here, but they never come support their kids. They don't know what their kids are doing behind the scenes. They don't know that their kids are educating, learning soccer, or getting fit, or building relationships and all that, or even meeting like the mayor or the governor, whoever that we invite for them to come see. Their parents don't know that. So all I want to say is the parents that are not here and they're watching this video, support your kids in any way. Whenever they play in high school, make sure you support them, because it's better for them to see you there than to not see you. So I'll just say, invest in your kid and support them, and they'll do better in life.